It didn't take long for basketball to turn into a battlefield. One moment the Mavericks and Grizzlies were trading buckets, the next, they were trading shoves, stares, and insults. November 22, 2025, was just another night. It was a collision course waiting to detonate. What began as a routine in-season tournament game at the American Airlines Center turned into one of the most shocking nights of the NBA season. The Mavericks and Grizzlies came out swinging for fouls, relentless trash talk, and playoff-level intensity. With Dallas trying to build momentum and Memphis fighting through injuries without Ja Morant, every possession felt like battle simmering toward chaos. The intensity didn't take long to escalate. Early in the first quarter, a seemingly routine drive by Luka to the rim ended with him colliding with Desmond Bane, both players tumbling to the hardwood. The whistle blew, but neither player immediately backed down. Luka popped up, pointing at Bane as if to say, "Watch yourself." Bane responded with sharp glance and a few words that could barely be heard over the crowd, but the cameras captured every syllable. The benches instantly erupted. Coaches waved arms frantically, trying to maintain control, but the players were already feeding off the tension. What was supposed to be a routine tournament matchup was already teetering on the edge of chaos. Midway through the second quarter, the first true flashpoint arrived. P.J. Washington, battling under the basket with Brandon Clark, ended up in a full-body grapple over a loose rebound. Arms flailed, bodies collided, and the arena shook with the force of the struggle. Klay Thompson, ever vigilant for his teammates, moved quickly to intervene when Cooper Flag got tangled in the fray. Voices were raised, chest bumps exchanged, and the officials had no choice but to issue technicals before the situation escalated further. Yet even as the penalties were handed out, the fire wasn't extinguished. It had only grown hotter. Every possession became a battle. Luka attacked the basket with a fiery determination, drawing hard fouls and retaliatory pushes from Grizzlies defenders. Marcus Smart shadowed every step, hounding passes and contesting shots, refusing to let the Mavericks' star player find comfort. Across the court, the Grizzlies, depleted without Ja Morant, fought as if their pride and identity were on the line with every rebound, every drive, every contested three-pointer. Rookie Kem Spencer emerged as an unlikely spark for Memphis, hitting clutch shots and showing a fearlessness that drew even louder reactions from the crowd. Each time he scored, the bench jumped as one, and the arena seemed to vibrate with anticipation of the next collision. The energy reached a crescendo just before halftime. A no-look pass from Luka intended for P. Washington was intercepted by Clark, who barreled into Washington on the floor in a tangle that brought both benches to their feet. Shouts, pointing, and arm-waving filled the arena. Fans rose to their feet, phones raised, as if expecting sparks to fly at any second. Coaches shouted over the din, trying to regain control, but the underlying current of emotion was unstoppable. Each whistle, each call, each minor scuffle added fuel to a fire that had been building for years between these teams. By halftime, the crowd wasn't just watching a basketball game. They were witnessing the slow ignition of a battle that was about to consume every second of the second half. That spark came midway through the second quarter. After a missed layup, Dallas forward P.J. Washington and Memphis big man Brandon Clark tangled under the rim. What began as a standard box-out quickly escalated into shoves and a chest-to-chest standoff. Teammates rushed in, coaches tried to intervene. Clark slapped Washington's arm away, and Washington retaliated with a forearm shove that sent the arena into chaos. By halftime, the referees had already issued for technicals, to flagrant fouls, and countless warnings. Cameras caught Kyrie Irving shouting at teammates, "They're trying to punk us," while Desmond Bane barked toward the Dallas bench, "We're not backing down." The kind of raw emotion on display was usually reserved for late May playoff basketball, not a mid-season tournament in November. Every quarter, every possession, every glance was a warning of the chaos waiting to explode. As the second half commenced, the physicality intensified. Every drive to the rim became a collision, every post-up a contest of wills. Dallas pushed the pace, but Memphis responded with gritty, aggressive defense that bordered on reckless. The Grizzlies, short-handed but determined to prove they weren't defined by Morant's absence, played like a team with something deeply personal to prove. Fans could feel the tension building, leaning forward in anticipation, watching a game that had transcended normal competition. The fourth quarter brought a play that would change the trajectory of the night. Luka drove hard to the rim and collided mid-air with Memphis rookie Jalen Williams, both spinning to the floor. The whistle blew immediately, but Luka, furious and convinced he had been undercut, rose sharply. Williams extended a hand to help him up, but Luka slapped it away. The two went forehead to forehead, the tension crackling like electricity. Players swarmed, benches emptied, and the arena erupted into chaos. Multiple ejections followed, creating a scene that would be replayed and analyzed for years to come. Klay Thompson, now a veteran leader with the Mavericks, found himself at the center of the storm. His first clash was with Santi Aldama after a loose ball skirmish involving rookie Cooper Flagg. Klay, witnessing Flagg being held down, intervened aggressively. Aldama, undeterred, pushed back, drawing both benches into the fray. Double technicals were handed out, and the officials struggled to maintain order. The drama was palpable, and for Klay, it was deeply personal. Every possession, every perceived slight, every disrespectful gesture was a call to respond. Minutes later, Vince Williams Jr. exaggerated a foul on Klay during a three-point attempt, leading to a confrontation that drew boos from the crowd. Klay clapped mockingly, and Williams charged at him verbally. Words were exchanged, sharp and loaded, caught on cameras for the world to see. Teammates intervened, pulling players apart, but the underlying tension, historical rivalries remain unresolved, simmering just beneath the surface. The history between Klay Thompson and Ja Morant was a story in itself. Born in the 2022 playoffs, the feud began with Morant accusing Jordan Poole of a dirty play, sparking back and forth taunts. Over time, every game between the Warriors and Grizzlies carried personal stakes. Even after Klay moved to Dallas, the unresolved fire followed him, manifesting tonight in a new arena, with new players, but the same combustible personalities. After the Mavericks' 126 loss, Ja Morant tested knees and street clothes select onto the court to hype up rookie Kemp Spencer. Morant, energized and provocative, approached Klay directly, pointing at Spencer and shouting, "That's the real best shooter in the house." Klay's eyes narrowed, disbelief quickly morphing into irritation. Morant's gesture, playful to some, was personal and deliberate, a challenge. Klay reacted instinctively, swatting Morant's hand away, shouting, "Get that out of my face." Security and players intervened immediately, preventing a full-scale brawl, but the tension was irreversible. Post-game, Klay delivered one of the most scathing interviews in years. He criticized Morant's taunting, questioned his accountability, and dissected the young star's off-court distractions. His worthless career has kind of been leaving us wanting more. "I hate to see that go to waste," spread across social media instantly, igniting debates, memes, and fan arguments worldwide. Analysts were divided, some praised Thompson's honesty, others accused him of being unnecessarily harsh. Social media erupted, the feud now extending beyond the court into culture and debate. Every shove, stare, and taunt throughout the night was a piece of a larger puzzle, veteran legacy confronting youthful audacity. Klay represented discipline, perseverance, and a hard-earned championship pedigree. Morant embodied speed, swagger, and fearless ambition. Their confrontation was about basketball, yes, but also ego, identity, and generational values. Every interaction became magnified, a collision of eras, both literally on the hardwood and symbolically in public perception. The social media storm amplified the stakes. Clips of Klay's hand swatting Morant, Morant's post-game pointing at Spencer, and Thompson's explosive interview spread within minutes. Memes, hot takes, and opinion threads appeared across Twitter, TikTok, and sports media platforms. Some argued the veteran had a right to call out immaturity, others claimed Morant was unfairly targeted. Pundits debated respect, generational differences, and the unwritten rules of the NBA, fueling controversy and engagement beyond the game itself. The night's events, while explosive, were also deeply emotional. Klay's frustrations, shaped by years of injuries and championships, collided with Morant's youthful confidence and outspoken personality. Each player carried personal stakes far beyond the scoreboard. The Mavericks wanted to assert dominance at home. The Grizzlies' aim proved they were resilient without their superstar. Klay Thompson's path through injuries, championship glory, and veteran responsibility clashed perfectly with Morant's rise, outspoken demeanor, and risk-taking behavior. Their personal history, the stakes of the in-season tournament, and the high-intensity atmosphere of professional arena created the perfect storm. And the league itself would take notice, aware that the next Maverick-realized matchup was now among the most anticipated and scrutinized games on the schedule. The aftermath was as dramatic as the game itself. Both teams would spend days addressing media questions, internal reviews, and social media fallout. Klay's interview remained a focal point, representing a generational statement about responsibility and focus. Morant's actions, while playful to some, were interpreted as provocative, daring the veteran to respond, and he did. The story was now multi-layered: court chaos, personal rivalry, social media firestorm, and public debate. It had transcended basketball, becoming a cultural moment with emotional and suspenseful resonance. Thompson and Morant embodied this dichotomy: veteran discipline versus young swagger, legacy versus potential, patience versus impulsivity. Some praised Klay's willingness to hold a star accountable, others criticized him for crossing a line. Everyone agreed on one thing: the rivalry had reached a new level, emotional and suspenseful, and it would dominate the narrative for weeks. This was not just game, it was a lesson in legacy, accountability, and passion, told on a basketball court, under the brightest lights, with millions watching. Klay and Ja didn't just clash, they redefined the stakes for every matchup between veteran and rising star. And fans, analysts, and players alike knew one thing: the next time these teams meet, the tension will be even higher, the stakes even greater, and the drama unstoppable. The sparks that flew on November 22, 2025, were not just isolated incidents, they were the culmination of years of tension, history, and unspoken grudges that stretched back to the 2022 playoffs. Every look exchanged between Klay Thompson and Ja Morant carried weight far beyond the scoreboard. It was as if every pass, every shot, every defensive rotation had been leading up to this exact moment, a collision of personalities as much as basketball talent. Fans and analysts alike could sense it: this was a rivalry that would fade with the final buzzer. It had reached a level of intensity that demanded attention, scrutiny, and analysis. Memes capturing Klay swatting James' hand away circulated faster than highlights of the game itself. Some praised Thompson for standing his ground, others criticized him for what they perceived as an overreaction. Morant's supporters, meanwhile, framed the act as youthful provocation, challenge to a veteran who had dominated the previous era. But beneath all the opinions, one truth remained: the tension between these two was now cultural, generational, and unavoidable. Klay Thompson, normally composed and measured, had revealed a side of himself that was raw, frustrated, and unapologetically honest. His words were more than commentary, it were a statement, a challenge, reminder that experience and accountability still had a voice in a league increasingly dominated by flash and flare. Ja Morant, though sidelined from play, had proven that his influence went beyond scoring or playmaking. He could provoke, energize, and command attention simply by stepping onto the court in street clothes. It was a rare, almost cinematic demonstration of power without direct competition. The emotional resonance of the night extended far beyond the two stars. Young players like Cam Spencer, Cooper Flagg, and Vince Williams Jr. were caught in the middle, experiencing firsthand the weight of legacy, expectation, and confrontation. For rookies and rising stars, it was a lesson in the psychological and emotional intensity of professional basketball. Every fan in attendance or watching from home could feel the suspense, the danger, and the unpredictability of what might happen next. No one knew if handshake in a future game could calm tensions, or if the next collision would escalate into something far more explosive. The narrative was no longer just about basketball, it had become a cultural story, a saga of two eras colliding. Klay represented the veteran who had clawed back from injuries, fought for championships, and demanded discipline. Morant symbolized the audacious, Fearless youth, willing to challenge anyone, anywhere, at any time. Their conflict was emblematic of the league itself, a constant tension between tradition and rebellion, respect and provocation, patience and impulsivity. And as the weeks, months, and seasons unfold, every matchup between the Mavericks and Grizzlies will be viewed through the lens of that fateful night. Every screen, every highlight, every social media clip will remind fans and players alike that this rivalry is alive, evolving, and impossible to ignore.